Good afternoon. This is Michelle, your legal and academic writing coach. I'm so excited to be with you this afternoon, or this morning actually. This morning I am going to do my weekly writing tip. I just came, so let me say this. I worked as a lawyer for several years, and then I'm currently in academia, and I really do get the stresses of writing for both professions, and they're a little bit different, but there are really many issues that come across. And there is this fundamental question that we don't ask about writing that actually matters for both, right? So before I jump in there, I just want to remind you that I just finished a series about editing. You can look under the video tab and look that up at any time. It's there for your reference, so please do so if you want. So today I'm going to ask a really basic question, and it might seem meaningless, but how do you feel about writing? I know it's such a simple question, right? And I think I asked this, and it's such a basic question, because I think as academics and lawyers, we don't even consider it, right? We have to write the brief. We have to write our dissertations. You have to do the class papers. We have to write articles to try to get a job. We have to write the book for tenure. You have to write another book to get full, right? You just have to do it. So who cares how you feel about it? But it's actually a really central question to what we're trying to do. It's very, very central. So it's summer. Let's pause and actually think about that question before you go diving into your really, really massive writing project. And just remember, it's just a semester. You're probably not going to work wonders. You can continue to make progress, but you're not going to get a whole book done if it's not already done. Just saying. Okay, so how do you feel about writing? Take out a journal. You can, if you're watching this live, you can't, but if you're watching the recording, take out a journal, pause it, and get a pen and write down your thoughts to some of these questions I have related to how you feel about writing, right? Does writing fill you with anxiety? Wait, let me back up before I say this. And I ask that because, many of us are always thinking, I should be writing. I should be writing. This is like the mantra of academics. I should be writing. What are you doing? Well, I should be writing. Well, what are you doing now? But I should be writing, right? Let's try to get underneath that and make sense of what the set of feelings bubbling up is, right? Does it fill you with anxiety? Many people are anxiety filled every time they sit down and write. Is it that you're not doing any? I would be anxiety filled too if I wasn't doing any, right? Is it that you, do you have time scheduled in your week to actually do the writing? And I know we're in summer for those of you who are academics. It doesn't mean that you don't have to schedule your time and structure your time, right? Do you have that time scheduled to make sure that it gets done? I know that if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. It's wishful thinking, right? Do you have a writing plan? Do you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish and what you're going to need to do to get there? That's important. Do you need to get to another place? Can you tell whether or not you're actually making progress? And as I give you these questions, you want to jot down answers in your journal about all of this, right? Are you distracted by the dishes, or are you distracted by major life stuff? If you had a recent death, are you experiencing challenges of your own that you need to handle? All of these things will leave you with anxiety about the prospect of writing. And I don't think it's a process that actually has to be that way. It really doesn't, right? So get to the root of why you're filled with anxiety and take time to write about that. Now, for some of you, it's not anxiety. It's just straight up dread. So if you're filled with dread, let me ask you this. Do you like what you're writing about? Maybe you were really excited about the topic years ago and you're not now. Maybe the brief sucks. I don't know, but are you actually excited about what you're writing about? Is it the thing that you want to get up in the morning and actually do? Do you like writing at all? I think it's an important, honest question that you have to ask yourself. So ask yourself that question. Do you like writing? Because if you don't, it would fill you with dread every time you had to sit down and do it. Do you remember a time when writing wasn't filled with dread? What was that time? What were the circumstances around it that made it a much more pleasurable experience? Those are really important questions. How do you recapture those moments? Write all of that down so you actually have it to go back to refer to try to turn the tide about being anxious about writing. Does writing fill you with boredom? And for some people it does, right? Are there other ways that you like to write? There's so many ways to write these days for so many different types of people. Maybe you like to write blogs or opinion pieces. Maybe you like to do creative writing and poetry. Maybe you just really want to write a short story, right? I don't know. Maybe you like microblogging. Yeah, I'm actually referring to Twitter and Tumblr, right? People blog extensively these days on these particular platforms. And if that's what you like to write, maybe it's not that you hate writing, but you need to intersperse what you are writing with these other forms of writing to kind of keep the juices flowing and going. Maybe you just hate writing altogether. You have to really be honest with yourself about that. And if that's the case, maybe you're in the wrong business, or maybe you're in the wrong type of business, right? I mean, so there are lawyers who do a lot of writing, but there's some who do more transactional work, or any number of ways in which you can do that work without writing. If you're an academic, it's good to know this now, right? Maybe you love writing. I actually do really enjoy writing. I enjoy writing many different types of ways. And you should write down why if you do, right? Why do you enjoy it? So you don't forget why it means so much to you. Write down what works about your writing process, right? Maybe it's like, I like that I get up and I check my email, and then by 20 minutes later, I'm to it. Maybe I like the fact that I know every day what I'm going in to do. Maybe I like that I will forgive myself if I only take 15 minutes to write in a day. I don't know what your process is, but write down what you actually enjoy about it. Write down what you want to tweak. This would go better for me if I did A, B, and C. You want to write that down and keep it with you, and then try to incorporate that in your writing process. So here's the story. Regardless of how you feel about writing, it's clear that you have these feelings, any set of feelings, and it's clear that they will glom onto absolutely everything you do when you write. And you don't want that to be the case. You kind of need to have your feelings over here and to do your writing. It's not to say that you don't have the feelings, but they cannot run the writing show. So you actually have to be crystal clear about these feelings so you don't sabotage yourself. Once you get crystal clear about them, it's nice you have to figure out how you're going to manage them so you can do what you need to do if writing is an important part of your daily life, right? So maybe you need to set up a schedule with very clear guidelines about where and when you're going to write. That would be great. Set up your schedule. Do it at the beginning of the week. I like to set mine up on Sundays, so I have no anxiety about the week. I know what I need to do and when it's going to get done. Maybe at the end of the day, you actually need to develop the habit of writing down something that went well about your writing. There's an app, I think it's called Day One, that actually allows you to write down, journal on, and I do that about other things, but you can write down oh, today I wrote 3 pages and they were great, or I wrote 3 pages and it was really, really hard, but you can tell that you wrote 3 pages, and then you can start to see the progress that you're really trying to make, that you're making. Maybe you need to have a writing accountability partner, someone with whom you check in at the beginning and the end of the week, and you can say, on Monday, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and by Friday, check in with them about how they do it, and they can help you celebrate what actually went well, and they can help you tweak what needs to shift. That's actually important. And there are other ways to set up how to write socially. There are meetups. If you're in New York, I certainly host one, and there are other forums for that. So consider making this a much more social process. Maybe that's part of the feelings you have about it. It's just so isolating. Maybe you're not in the right business and you have to sort out what to do, but then you're going to have to keep writing until you can figure out your next steps. And, use all manner of resource to figure out how to get you to that next step, right? So, and finally, if you need help with writing, I'm happy to give you that assistance. You can contact me by sending me a message, and we can figure out how to get together and make that happen, right? So, thank you so much for listening to this, or whether it's live or later. If you are a lawyer, you can click on Sign Me for Tribe of Legal Warrior, where I give monthly help to lawyers about figuring out, women who are lawyers, to figure out their personal and professional dreams. Look out for something similar for academics. I will have that up and running soon. If you want to know more about me and what I do, if you are an academic, on the left side of the page, you can go ahead and scroll and sign up for my newsletter. Every month I have something. The next one will be about summer writing, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. in a newsletter. And if you're a lawyer, I will put a link to my newsletter underneath this. And if you are in New York and you are an academic, I host meetups for academic writers, generally on Thursdays and Fridays. If you go to the Meetup website, you can find out more there. And I will also let you know when a retreat for academic writers will be set up that you can join us on. All right, have a great weekend. I know it's a long weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy it. The weather's gorgeous. Knock yourself out. All right, talk to you later. Bye.